Hi, welcome to Photography Is. This is Maggie Dykeman and I'm just going to show you some quick Photoshop editing tools. As you can see, the photo I have chosen here is Brother Jed. Some of you may or may not know him, but he comes to campus every so often and I guess preaches. But I'm zooming in here on his face because that's probably the most important part of the photo and could be cropped as such. But let's get to the editing part. So if you go up here to Image and Adjustments, well, as you can see here, there's auto changes, but you don't want to do that. So probably the simplest tool you can use is the brightness / contrast tool. And as you can see, it just makes little changes like this. And it can go pretty extreme where it almost looks kind of cartoony, but I mean, you want your photos to look realistic, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. So let's see. Just kind of move that around a little. So that's the simplest tool, and you can experiment with it, you know, moving the cursor back and forth on both those things, but there's some also more complex tools, which is levels and curves. I personally prefer levels, and what you can do here is you can bring in the whites over here, bring in the blacks or the darks over here, like that. But you don't want to do that too much because then you lose detail. And then this middle guy kind of messes around with the midtones. So it's a pretty handy tool when you're, just kind of simply editing photos for, just contrast and brightness, things like that. But the other tool here, which is curves, now this one's just kind of fun to experiment with. As you can see, it can do a lot of different things. See, up here is obviously lighter, here darker, but then you can also shift this around and that just looks bad. But you can have some fun with it. I'm not gonna save that. But I didn't do a lot of changes to this photo because I'm just showing you how to use the tools, but you can definitely see the difference. Like the color is brought up, and when you compare them, the original photo does look a lot more gray, which, I mean, not that there was a lot wrong with the photo originally, but it definitely improves it when you edit it just a little bit. So I recommend playing around with those tools on Photoshop if you have Photoshop. If not, then if you are a serious photographer, I recommend that you get a program like it or Photoshop itself. You can get a cheap student version of it at the student store. But I hope you enjoyed this quick little video on editing tips. Thanks!